Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we are checking out the ELRS version of the Zorro radio transmitter remote controller from Radio Master. Now I have already done a review of the Zorro 4-in-1 version. Link to that video right up here. And here is the Zorro 4-in-1 version. And as you can see, they are identically the same. The difference, however, is internal. The 4-in-1 version has the 4-in-1 multi-module chip built right in, and the ELRS version has the ELRS module built right in. So if you have been wanting to try ELRS, like buying an external module for your existing radio and getting yourself some of those tiny little receivers that has incredible range, like the EP1 and the EP2 receivers, but don't want to go through all the hassles of setting it all up, well, you now have a choice to buy an inexpensive, highly portable radio like this Zorro, a gamer style radio with the ELRS module built right in. As a matter of fact, the ELRS version only works with ELRS receivers, and it does not come with any other protocol built in except for ELRS. So the Zorro radio is compatible with OpenTX and EdgeTX, and when you power it up,
welcome to EdgeTX.
EdgeTX is already pre-installed, just like the 4-in-1 version. And because it already comes with all of the SD card contents preloaded and the SD card is provided, you don't have to download anything at all. There's even models already pre-set up for you to use right out of the box. So if you go into the model setup page, scroll to the internal RF, it is either crossfire or off. And the reason why is that crossfire is the protocol that ELRS uses. And of course, you can go to the external RF and utilize the nano module bay compartment in the rear for a crossfire module or even a 4-in-1 multi-protocol module. So you are definitely not limited to just ELRS. But if you have made up your mind to go ELRS, and why not? They are the cheapest long-range RF system out there in the market right now. And even if you don't do long distance, you know the link will be solid. And the receivers are super tiny, so they can be fitted into the smallest of quadcopters. So the Zorro radio transmitter remote controller is becoming very popular. It has everything you want and need in a radio transmitter. It has a large 2.5-inch LCD screen display that is good even in bright sunlight. It has the rechargeable batteries. It even comes with an external battery port and Velcro straps to directly mount an external battery. You can also use the battery cable that comes with it and put the battery in your pocket and use it in that manner. Now it has precise Hall sensor gimbals, but if you want to upgrade it to the AG01 CNC metal gimbals like the TX16S, you can do that too now with the new AG01 mini CNC metal gimbals specifically made for the Zorro radio transmitter and the TX12 radio transmitters. And you can change out the original stock gimbal sticks, which are pretty good, to these new sticky 360 mini gimbal stick ends for the Zorro radio and the TX12 radio transmitter for the 3mm screw shafts. And they also make the sticky 360 gimbal stick ends for the TX16S for the 4mm screw shafts as well. Now, they really stick to your fingers without hurting your fingers, with those sharp edges in a dual ring geometry design on the top and tons more on the sides for comfort. They are so good and comfortable, you will never make a mistake because of accidental slippage. And to protect your new Zorro radio transmitter, there's the new carry case made just for the Zorro radio, which has grooves already made to fit the radio perfectly on the bottom as well as the top. And it will accommodate an external bay module and the antenna as well, like an Immortal T style antenna. Now, for some reason, the ELRS version that I have here burns through the batteries a little bit faster than my 4-in-1 version of the Zorro radio. I'm not sure why. So how I like to use my Zorro radios are with 2 additional 18650 batteries in the battery tray that came with the TX16S, and stick it to the nano module bay cover with some poster putty. You see some of that poster putty in between. So it can be easily removed, and I can charge it up separately, and it can be easily reinstalled. It will even fit inside of the case with the battery tray attached. I also carry some extra 18650 batteries just in case I fly a little bit more than I expect to fly, and they will fit inside of the case as well. So here I have the Diatone GTB195, which is one of my all-time favorite quadcopters. It has the EP2 ELRS receiver with the bigger of the 2 antennas it comes with installed in it. Now, it used to have the Crossfire receiver on it, and I loved it. And here is the Crossfire receiver and the Immortal T antenna that was installed in it. So it was installed right behind, the receiver was right behind of the FPV camera, and the Immortal T antenna was routed to the arm and zip tied, just like how the ELRS antenna is zip tied onto the arms right now. Now, it was the easiest install or the easiest receiver swap out ever, because the quadcopter has a female JST 4-pin connector soldered onto one of the MTTX and RX UART plus the 5V and the ground, and the male JST connector soldered onto the Crossfire receiver. And that was how the Crossfire receiver was all set up. So all I had to do is plug it in. So it was just plug and play. So all I had to do was soldered on a male JST connector to the EP1 ELRS receiver, just like this, and simply connect it, since it uses the same wiring configuration as Crossfire. And here is my Diatone GTM515. Now, this one used to have the RXSR receiver, and it was directly soldered onto the flight controller, and it used to be right here. Now it has the EP2 ELRS receiver with the built-in ceramic tower antenna. Now look at how small the EP2 receiver is compared to the RXSR receiver. Basically half the size and half the thinness as well. It is also directly soldered onto the flight controller on the MTUART3 pads. Now, make sure the TX pad from the receiver goes to the RX UART pad on the flight controller, and the RX pad from the receiver goes to the TX UART pad on the same UART on the flight controller when you solder on the wires. Of course, the 5V and ground goes to the 5V and ground onto the flight controller as well. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and do the binding process, and this will be the traditional binding process. And here I have my smoke stopper, which will connect to my Toolkit RC's M8. And I will power up my Toolkit RC's M8 with the 4-cell battery. And connecting the smoke stopper to the quadcopter. All right. On the Toolkit RC, I'm going to go down to the output, go to the power, and just custom 12V, 10 amps, and ready to press the start. When I press the button to start, it will power up the quadcopter and it's going to go through the smoke stopper. So if something is wrong, it will just automatically shut off. So safety precaution. So what you need to do is power on and off the receiver like it says on the instructions 3 times until the LED light on the receiver is doing a double blink, which will indicate the receiver is in the binding mode. So let's go ahead and do that. On, off, off, on, there you can see that it is doing a double blink. That indicates it is in the bind mode. So let's go to the transmitter.
Welcome to HTX.
Now on the Zorro radio, go to the Systems tool page by long pressing the System button. Now scroll down to where it says Express LRS and hit the scroll wheel. And there you go. We're not going to go through all that. We're just going to go straight down and scroll to where it says bind. Now go ahead and hit bind, and once the receiver shows a solid blue LED light, it is bound. So let's go ahead and hit it. And just like that, we have a solid blue light on the receiver. You can also do this by going to the SD card contents page. So long press the System button and page over to the SD card contents page. Scroll down to Scripts, hit Enter, scroll down to Tools, hit Enter, and scroll down to where it says ELRS V2 Lua script and execute. It'll bring you to the same page as before. So Radio Master has made it super easy for you. So just hit the Systems page, go down to Express LRS, enter, and it'll bring you to the same binding page. Okay, so now you can go into Betaflight and make the necessary changes. First, you want to go into the Ports page and select Serial RX for the UART that you have soldered on your ELRS receiver. In my case is UART number 1. Serial RX is turned on. Go ahead and save and reboot. Next, go into your configurations page, scroll down to where it says receiver, and in the receiver mode you want the serial based receiver selected, and on the serial receiver provider you want crossfire selected. Scroll down, turn on telemetry, save and reboot. Next up, you want to go to your receivers page, and nothing is moving because my transmitter is not turned on.
Welcome to HTX.
And my quadcopter also needs to be powered on. And there we go, bound. So here you want to go ahead and check all your sticks, make sure everything is working the way you want it to work. And make sure your channel mapping is correct, otherwise your quadcopter will be spinning out of control. And on the RSSI channel, select Disable. Go ahead and save. Go to your modes page and make sure all your modes are set up correctly. Go to your OSD page. Now here you can go ahead and turn on link quality, and for this one I just left my RSSI value set to the RSSI value and not the dBm. And also post-flight statistics, you can go ahead and select link quality minimum as well. Save, and now you are ready to fly. Now there's one more thing you want to do before you take off, is go to the model page and page back twice. It'll take you to the telemetry page. So you want to scroll down, and you see all those values. It's because I've already done this already. But scroll all the way down where it says discover new sensors and hit enter. That'll go ahead and discover all of the new sensors, and hit it again to stop discovering new sensors. And as you can see, there are a bunch of values because the ELRS receiver is a telemetry receiver. So here is a distance test with the GTM515, and this is the one with the EP2 receiver on board with the ceramic tower antenna. Now the video is sped up to 2x, so things move along rather quick. And after making sure the GPS home arrow is correct, we are headed towards the valley. Now this quad has the latest Betaflight firmware, 4.2.8 I believe, and the RSSI is showing the RSSI dBm, and the link quality is showing 7:100, and it's dropping rather quickly because the packet rate is set to 500 and the TX power is set to 250 milliwatts. But we will push it until it either fail safes or reaches 2 kilometers, at which time I will manually turn around, so whichever comes first. So here we are at 1.2 kilometers and we are going strong, and I don't care about the dBm or the link quality because I got GPS. And here we go, we got RX lost at 1.69 kilometers. So we are heading back. Yes, it's autonomously heading back. So what I'm going to do is double time it back so we can check out the post-flight statistics. Landed, and here are the post-flight stats. Max distance was 1.69 kilometers. Not bad at all. And now a distance test with the Diatone GTB195. And this is the one that has the EP1 receiver with the external antenna. And the video is also in 2x speed. And once again, establishing home before heading off to the valley. And here we go. So this one has Betaflight 4.1.2. And the RSSI is reading positive, and the LQ is showing 799. And I will also take it to the 2 kilometer mark and either turn around or fail safe, whichever comes first. And wow, look at the LQ, not budging at all. And we are right at the 1 kilometer mark, going strong. Oh, RSSI low warning, but I am not worried at all since it has GPS. So on this one, I think it'll make it to the 2 kilometer mark. And here we go. 1.7 kilometers. Yep, looks like it. 799 LQ. Almost to the 2 kilometer mark. And LQ 799 still. Okay, here we go. I'm going to turn around at 2.22 kilometers. Oh, wow. And the LQ didn't even move. Okay. Double time back, and 2.22 kilometers. And the minimum link is showing 300%. All right, guys, so here we are at the park where we have some trees to mess with the signal strength. So first is the GTM515 with the EP2 receiver and the ceramic antenna. So we'll just fly around the park in 2x speed here to speed things up. And we know from the distance test that the LQ here needs to be at 0 for it to fail safe. So we are doing pretty good. And even with a ceramic antenna, yeah, it is doing pretty good. So let's go ahead and cruise around some of these bigger trees here. And the LQ does drop quite a lot. So with a lot of obstacles in the way, the EP2 receiver is not that ideal if you go too far away. And I would also put myself in the center of wherever I happen to be flying also. But for this test, I have positioned myself at the very far end of the park. So let's just go ahead and finish some of the flight off here. All right, guys, so here we go with the Diatone GTB 195. Then this is the one with the EP1 receiver with the external antenna. 2x speed as well to speed things up. And we will attack the cruise around the big tree here right away, and not much movement, but it did go down a little, like 780 or something like that. So definitely the EP1 antenna is the way to go if you are in an area with lots of obstacles. But you know, the EP2 did pretty good. And because it has no antenna, well, a ceramic antenna, you can put it in just about the smallest of quadcopters and still get very good results, even like a tiny hoop. But the main thing is this Radio Master Zorro radio transmitter remote controller. It feels like a big radio and the control is perfect. So either go with a 4-in-1 version if you want to go external ELRS module later on, or go with the ELRS version if you already have some other radio that will fly the quadcopters that you already have, but want to put ELRS receivers on some of them. For me, I'll be getting some EP1 receivers myself and putting them in most of my quadcopters. But you know, I may even equip my quadcopters with the wiring and the female JST connector so that I can just swap out just the receiver from quadcopter to quadcopter, save some money. Anyways, that'll do it for this video of the ELRS version of the Zorro radio transmitter remote controller from Radio Master. Now the purchase link is down below, so go ahead and check it out if you want to. So with that, I thank you so much for tuning in and watching. Have a great day, and we'll see you again next time.